Well, it is officially Saturday. It is our Geeks 5 Ever. It's a special episode. It's a special podcast. I'm not going to do my normal introduction. I'm going to go ahead and put my real name. Out there. My name is Jesse Brasino, also known as Goku, also known as King Mexico. Fair warning, this is a mature podcast. We will, I'm not going to do any name calling. I'm not going to do any, most of the things we're going to talk about on this podcast, there's actual evidence. We're going to avoid slander and defamation without evidence. So the way it works is if you say something bad about somebody and it's not true and you're doing it to ruin their reputation, it is slander. However, most of the stuff we're going to be talking about, not only is there evidence, it's all over social media, and we actually have a lot of the links and such for most of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. If you don't want Anime Matsuri possibly saying anything to you or banning you from their con, my word of advice is just to not say anything. Like, if you plan on going to, and I don't recommend anyone go to Anime Matsuri, and I will get into that soon. I don't want anyone to go. I do not support anyone going. I don't care how fun it is. I don't think anyone should go. But if you want to avoid issues with Anime Matsuri, they're not going to come after anybody in the comment section. Don't worry about that. So it's just one of those things to where just be mindful of what you say. There will be no trolling. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about Anime Matsuri, If you have any experiences with the convention, please share them in the comment section. You can still comment regularly like you've always have been. I just want to keep the trolling to a bare minimum. So I know there's a couple of people on here that come on here and troll every time we start a podcast. By the way, I want to put this out there before we begin. We are not going to make this a regular thing. Will we bring up Anime Matsuri in the future? Yes, absolutely. Will we make this a regular thing where we constantly attack them? Absolutely not. This is beating a dead horse. And I want to first off, I want to thank LioConvoy Reviews for I got lazy and I stole some of his links. And so thank you. I do apologize for stealing some of your stuff. But I did a lot of research all night, so we're gonna go ahead and get into that. So for those of you that don't know, I've been cosplaying since OniCon 2007. I discovered anime conventions. I always thought that Comic-Con was the only convention that there was, and then I discovered OniCon. So we went to a place called Planet Zero. We discovered Planet Zero, and it was a Japanese-style arcade, or at least it was very dark, and they had like the arcade cabinets that you have to sit down and play, kind of like the ones they have in Japan. And so we went there and we found out about Anime Matsuri. So we pre-registered for Anime Matsuri, and being the first, I had never been to Anime Matsuri. This was only their second Anime Matsuri. Matsuri was only a year old. And we always thought that Anime Matsuri would have been like the WrestleMania of conventions. If you don't know what WrestleMania is essentially like the Super Bowl, the World Cup, the World Series. It's the biggest. You could have asked me. I've been anti-Matsuri since 2013. I've been anti-Matsuri since 2009. But I decided not to have any other guests. I decided not to have any other co-hosts. It's just going to be me. This is going to be me talking about how bad Anime Matsuri is. And how bad the owners are. We're going to talk about all of it. The news articles, the allegations, all the bad stuff. We're going to bring up Planet Zero. We're going to bring up how they almost screwed over Delta H-Con. We're going to talk about how they screwed over one of their longtime friends and investors. I cannot pronounce his last name, but his first name is Michael. He invested a lot of money into Anime Matsuri. Anime Matsuri has been around since 2007. And then they were at the George R. Brown. Then they went to the Woodlands, and then they came back to Houston after a while. So let's go ahead and look at some of these. So we're gonna go ahead and look at a news article for Anime Matsuri, and this is about Delta H-Con. So for those of you that don't know, there's a lot of news articles made about Anime Matsuri. And it's actually really bad. So we're going to go ahead and share some of the... shit, I should have been more prepared. Damn it. Anyways, okay, well, fuck this. I'm going to go ahead and show you the... window capture... Okay, we're going to go ahead and do that. So this is an article that Houston Press released. There's a shit ton of ads. The Anime Matsuri is growing, and so is the list of people unhappy with it. This is by Houston Press. You can find their link is in our description. You can see their article on there. It is not uncommon in anime to see a lone girl standing bravely behind a colorfully dressed angry horde determined to get past her. This was real life, and Sarah, president of Delta H-Con, had to make do with diplomacy given her lack of ninja skills or magical moon powers. We'll work with you, she told the irate mob. We can give you day passes at a discount. Roughly 200 people had showed up to the busy Saturday at the registration table at Delta H-Con 2012, expecting free admission. That's what they were promised. They had just come in from an Asian Pacific American Heritage Association festival on Discovery Green, where among other activities they had watched a performance by the Lady Spade, a popular Japanese indie pop artist. Spade was a guest of Anime Matsuri, Houston's most popular annual anime and Japanese pop culture convention. The founders of Matsuri, John and Denise Lay, had approached Sarah, I cannot for the life of me pronounce her last name, a few months earlier, wanting to partner with Delta H-Con to share the cost of bringing Spade to Houston. It's expensive to bring guests from Japan, says Sarah. We're a little con and it is a lot of money. I told them we couldn't afford it, but thanks for thinking of us. I thought that was it. According to Sarah, after Spade's performance, representatives of Matsuri ascended the stage and told people that they were allowed into Delta H-Con for free if they showed their ticket from Alpha Festival. Well, Apaha Festival? I thought it was Alpha, but it's Apaha. A ton of people showed up, says Sarah. I wasn't prepared to give away 200 badges on the busiest day of the convention. I'm not going to eat that because of Matsuri. It hurts us. People blamed us for not honoring an agreement we had never heard of. It might have been just a misunderstanding. John and Denise declined to be interviewed or comment on this story, but the con's history includes a fair number of unhappy customers. The Lays held their first convention in 2007 at the George R. Brown Convention Center with a modest gathering. Guests included mostly local voice actors from AD Vision, such as Christopher Ayers and Christine Otten. Though the Lays also netted national talent with Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime from Transformers, and rock band Back On from Japan. Every year since then, Matsuri continued to expand. Reported attendance was blossomed from the few thousand at the beginning to a whopping 24,000 at the last event in April. Power Rangers, pop bands with ties to Asian or anime culture, fashion icons, of course, paying ticket buyer fly in from other world to attend. The sci-fi reality series Heroes of Cosplay filmed an episode there in 2013. The same year, Matsuri broke into AnimeCons.com's list as the top 10 largest anime conventions in America. At the same time, this exponential growth has been accompanied by a number of problems of the kind that not usually experienced by established conventions. So it goes on to talk about the sexual. It goes on to talk about the allegations made. So in 2014, D.L. Hayden, Free Press Houston, reported that an abrupt panel cancellations and excessive queues were very common at the con. Said it was like Disneyland on day one. All the attractions malfunctioning and a lot of long lines. Matsuri volunteers spoke to complain of controversy and inadequate training, a lack of translators for Japanese guests, and frequent disruptions to schedules. One volunteer whose job was to chaperone a celebrity guest said her supervisor, whom she had never seen before, had not even checked her identification to see if she actually was who she said she was before allowing her access. In June of this year, social media lit up with accusations of inappropriate sexual conduct on John Lay's parts regarding women associated with the convention, including a woman who said that he asked her for naked photographs of herself. That was a Chocolate, real name Ninja something, a German fashion model and maker wigs popular with the Japanese Lolita community, a fashion subculture based on the modest Victorian era dress and not associated with sexual themes of the Vladimir novel was something novel of the same name. After John invited Chocolate to Matsuri, she posted screen caps of John asking for pictures. That same month, another Lolita-based in Houston also posted screen caps of unwanted sexual conversations with John, in which he pressed her to tell him when was the last time she had an orgasm. In that same post, she claims that while she was at the event with him, he tried to lift up her clothes without permission. When the Houston press contacted John on this earlier this year, he declined to comment or to be interviewed regarding the accusations, but sent a statement saying he was extremely sorry that my attempts at humor have offended some people, that he had completed a $40 online course on sexual harassment from AJ Novick Group. Oh my God. Okay, let's go ahead and stop there. We're going to go ahead and stop reading there for a second. I can't even. So I'm going to take a little moment to process this. So, and I do have some of the, I have some screen caps. If somebody could help me get some more screen caps, that'd be amazing. But these are the ones I have. I spent all night researching. I found out a lot more information that's shitty about Matsuri than all right, here's one text that he had with somebody. So Stephanie says, I'll await the exciting news then. If you're looking for stand-ins again, I'll be happy to volunteer. John says, I have lots of exciting news. Maybe too exciting. You might have orgasms. I don't think I'll get that excited, but okay, LOL. Oh, really? When was the last time you had an orgasm? You don't need to know. Yes, I do. Please do tell. I'm running from this question. Low, but such a simple question. And then she says, shoo. Do you... This is somebody he's doing business with. This is somebody he is trying to do business with. And if you go back to the article, which we are going to go back to, just so I don't get shit from anybody, it says it right here. When Houston Press contacted John earlier this year, he declined to comment or be interviewed regarding the accusations, but sent a statement saying he was extremely sorry that my attempts at humor have offended some people. Sorry, the fucking mouse. Does this look like fucking humor to you, John? We have another one. I am ready to go into a rant, but I'm just waiting. Damn it. This is the one I wanted. Everyone take a moment to go ahead and read that. This is important. Anyways, now we're just gonna... Okay. So, we're going to go ahead and start off with Anime Matsuri. Anime Matsuri is a poorly organized convention run by John and Denise Lay. They are the owners and the CEOs of Anime Matsuri. Now, in 2015, people came forward with sexual harassment allegations against John. Now, for the people, and I'm going to steal some... I'm going to steal some lines from LioConvoy's reviews. His video, you can go and watch that. It's in our link description. Let's say it's all bullshit. Let's say it's all fake, that people are just starting drama for the sake of starting drama. There is actual evidence pointing at him making these statements. I mean, you can even look, you can even Google Anime Matsuri controversy on Google, and a lot of crap will come up. Here it is. Here's the one I wanted. This is the one that I asked somebody to send me, but I never got. This one is important. Alright, so this person sends, hey, I'm a size 39. Believe that's a US 9 or 9.5. The wigs are shipped out yesterday. I meant to write you, but we finished really late shooting. I'm flying home tonight. We'll send you a logo as soon as possible. When I am back, what kind of pictures are we talking about? He says naked pics, of course. When you have a business relationship with somebody. Now, in the article, when you look at the article, he says that he is sorry. Like, at first he says that, you know, if you're my friend, we joke around like this. If you can't take these kind of jokes, then you should not be my friend. Now, before I did this video, and I want to share with y'all something I found out. Because what is one of the fears that we have
Good morning, YouTubers.
And I know y'all heard something real quick. So there's a YouTube channel called YouTuber Law. And I will give y'all the description. I will give that link.
I got an interesting message on Twitter.
Okay, so here is the link to his YouTube channel. This YouTuber specializes in law. So one of the things that face a lot of YouTubers are people that do podcasts or anything like what we're doing right now, is that Anime Matsuri could come after us and sue us or do a cease and desist or anything like that. Any legal kind of actions against us. I not only watched a lot of videos about Anime Matsuri, I stumbled upon a law video where the guy says they had no grounds. Like, they really shouldn't have gone after Scarfy Scarves. Like, they have no grounds to file criminal charges against her. There's no rights for suing because she was doing a report. She was reporting on what was out there. It is a news report. She wasn't talking about doing any physical kind of harm. She wasn't like threatening them. She wasn't harassing them. She was just reporting on actual screen caps and evidence out there about the anime convention. And I'm really here's the thing. There are lots of jokes that we make with our friends. You know, there are jokes that we say with our friends that are kind of offensive. Everybody makes some kind of offensive joke with their friends. You know, I get called Mexican. My friend's starting to call INS on me. I go along with it. It's fine. We're friends. I don't make those kind of jokes with people I'm trying to do business with. Have you noticed that I haven't made any kind of joke? I will like make fun of my co-host. I will make jokes about my co-host, but have you noticed like I don't really say anything about my guest unless they're like a really good friend of mine, like Tony Dark, who I did an interview with Manny and Tony. Then again, the picture, I don't think that was his wife. Well, I don't think it was his wife. I doubt it was his wife. Either way, there is another thing that we have to share with you that was sent to Denise. Ooh, this gets good and better. So, somebody sent Denise a message to, hey, come put your husband on a short leash because he's acting up. Somebody actually sent this to her, and we're going to go ahead and read it out loud. I'm just going to go ahead and fix it to the screen. is why I need a producer. Hello, Denise. Before I start with what I have to say, I want you to know that I really respected you and thought you were very nice towards me, and that short time I volunteered was very enjoyable. John, on the other hand, has crossed the line and made me very uncomfortable. So uncomfortable, in fact, he made me stop going to Anime Matsuri. It has been 4 years since I attended the last anime convention or volunteered. In recent light of all the girls coming out and telling their story, I felt like I needed to say this to you, even if you believe me or not. I have had this guilt over me for years for not telling you, and there was so many reasons justified in my head for not telling you. 1, I did not want to hurt you. 2, I felt like this was none of my business to get in between your marriage. 3, I really hope that becoming a father would change him for the better. None of the justified reasons I had in my head are right, and I should have said something. I first started going to Planet Zero my sophomore year of high school. I was young, naive, and oblivious to sexual innuendo, jokes, and flirtatious passes. I at first took them as jokes, like many did. I blew it off as nothing. Like there was one particular year, Langberg came to town and we hung out at Planet Zero, while L would talk to his other friends and catch up. John would sit next to me to flirt. He told me if I wanted to get game points, I needed to give him my number. Without thinking too much into it, I did. I was like, oh, cool, free games. He must have wanted my number because I'm at Planet Zero often, and I do volunteer for Anime Matsuri. Later on in the night, he would make sexual jokes and put his hand on my leg. I didn't let it go any further and just walked away to hang out with that person. Shrugged it off, really. A week or a few days later, I get a text from John late at night asking me for sex, saying he's something like, hey, when are we going to have sex? I didn't say anything to him, and just when I was finally realized that every joke and every inappropriate thing he has said to me. There is a second part of that text, so we're going to go ahead and share that right now. And this is where it gets, and this is the part where Denise chimes in, I believe. Okay, so the blue text is her, the white one is Denise. We're not innocent and not playful. Every touch became disgusting. I understand these are serious allegations, but I wouldn't make it something like this up. When this happened, I even told Vinny about it. While I respect that you love your husband and have kids from him, it breaks my heart that so many girls are coming out with their story and you choose to turn a blind eye. That many people can't be wrong. I hope every girl that has had sexual passes from your husband get the justice they deserve. This is what Denise had to say back. I respect that you're telling me there's a problem. There's a problem I have about this. You should have said it to him that you are uncomfortable and to stop. Tell someone to do something about it. Isn't that what we're all taught to do? Was it inappropriate? Yes. Perhaps he felt that comfortable to say things like that. Did he go through with it? No. Right? You or anyone can tell me he is a predator without proof. I'm sorry, and please don't tell being blind through all this. There's people making up so that he go through with it. No, right? Okay, never mind. There's people making up so many stories. It's ridiculous. Did you read this note? It proves people take his words out of context. I have made my right to defend him. Please don't say I shouldn't. This is what the person had to say back to Denise. Why is it okay for him to be comfortable enough to say something as inappropriate as that? And yes, nothing happened because I completely ignored him after that. It's because I didn't go through with it. It's because I was smart enough to know when it was enough. Out of all the girls that said something, I didn't believe that I would be the one person you would believe that I wouldn't. Ugh. Out of all the girls that said something, I didn't believe that I would be the one person you would believe. I think I fucked that up. But anyways, but I shared with you my experience, and that is enough for me for now. Thank you for your response and not for attacking me for sharing my story. Okay, welcome to the podcast, Victoria. First time commenter. The girl is a former Matsuri chair, was Misato Akoi. I should have clarified. The former chair was trying to do a kawaii ambassador thing. I am a little confused. If you could give more detail, a little more clarity on that, that'd be much appreciated. So, there is a lot of proof. There's a lot of articles out there. There's a lot of testimonies. There's screenshots of these texts, of these conversations. And there are people like, well, it's just drama. Like we said, if we didn't, it's just drama. It's just people starting shit. Well, if we did go in there with the mindset that none of this was true, unfortunately, not only does he admit it, there are screenshots. He apologized. He said that I should do better. He said that if you are my friend, you should be able to handle these kind of jokes. And if you can't handle these jokes, okay, I was a little confused. If you are my friend, you should handle these kind of jokes. If you are not my friend and if you can't handle these jokes, then don't be my friend, because this is how I am as a person. That is complete bullshit. You don't talk to people you're trying to do business with. When you represent a convention, yes, there are lots of people out there that are blaming, like whenever somebody gets some kind of like notoriety, someone's going to come forward and say like, oh, this person's evil, they did this to me. And a lot of it isn't true. There is a lot of times where it's not fucking true. Unfortunately, but there are so many people coming forward with this. Like, it is complete bullshit to say, well, why didn't you say anything to him? Why didn't you tell him to stop? It's your fault. You're supposed to say something. You don't understand that this person was a little girl, a sophomore in high school, being approached by John, who's like in his fucking 40s, he might be in his 50s. Who knows? He looks like that guy from the stupid meme. Anyway. Let me see if I can find it. Damn it, I can't find it. Here it is. Oh, here it is. See? That looks like fucking John. Actually, that's kind of funny. That's probably how he's looking at my podcast right now. John has hurt a lot of people. He has burnt a lot of bridges in this community. And I'm now that we've talked about a few articles, there's articles, there's Chrome.com, Houston Press. There's a lot of articles. We have links to all of them if you are interested. We have links from... Okay, so there is the Houston Anime Matsuri Festival draws sexual harassment from Chrome.com. Houston Anime Matsuri organizer accused of sexual harassment from Houston Press. How Me Too helped revitalize the boycott Anime Matsuri movement from comicsbeat.com. Anime Matsuri moves to silence blogger with cease and desist from animefeminist.com. More reasons to hate Anime Matsuri and shop in Wonderland by buttcape.blogspot.com. Now, Shop in Wonderland is also owned by Anime Matsuri. I don't know that much about them. I was dead tired and didn't have enough time to research. But remember Anime Matsuri? I mean, not Matsuri. Remember Planet Zero? Remember that arcade? That fucking place? The place that got shut down because they owed $81,000 in rent? And they came up with some bullshit excuse like new landlords contract disputes. You know, we're going to leave John right here just so he can keep staring. This is John. That is fucking John. That looks like him a little. There are lots of people that are going to defend Anime Matsuri. Their storefront closed down back in November. So it recently closed. They owe a lot of people. Let's look at their guests. They owe guests like Miyabi money. For those of you that don't know Miyabi was a big deal from Japan. I don't know if they still owe DJ Heavy Grinder money. DJ Heavy Grinder's not even that great, but we're not going to get into that. They owe a lot of guests money. They had Vic come in, and despite all the things against Vic, they still had him come in, and there are legitimate people out there right now defending Anime Matsuri. I am not even kidding. This is, and I don't give a shit if some of these YouTubers get mad that I'm calling them out. I'm not calling out this YouTuber, but I'm calling out his comment section because it's fucking awful. So this YouTuber is called Come Geek Some. That's a great fucking name. I guess I can't really say much because Geeks 5 Ever isn't that much better. Social injustice warriors and their supporters are getting their bad karma. True justice will prevail in the end. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. He's defending Vic. This is fucked up year for Anime Matsuri, and all because of Funimation. By the end of the year, Anime North America will be the same. I'm thinking like Kamehameha. This con will be a true success, and the boycott read for nothing. The allegations versus Vic and John seem to both be very altered versions of the truth. Skits, jokes, and friendly hugs wrapped into sexual harassment by weird people who have agendas. I hope Anime Matsuri doesn't cave. I'm planning on going with my little sis, and I'm looking forward to seeing Vic. It's me, or John Lay really apologized to NPCs. Just don't go near his booth, and it's easy. A lot of cons are gone. I've seen more actors because I never went close to them. At this point, there won't be any cons left. No one will want to hold one because of the fear of getting attached. So, and here's another one. Never apologize to SJWs. Miyabi was there in 2009. Miyabi did a performance. It was part of the weekend where Anime Matsuri went head-to-head with Kamikaze-Con. Anime Matsuri pulled off every stop they could to bury Kamikaze-Con into the ground. Miyabi was definitely the biggest attraction of the weekend. There are claims in the Houston Press article, I don't know if it's that one or another one, where they have not paid Miyabi. They have not paid their investor. His name is Michael. His last name, I cannot begin to pronounce it. If anybody could look into it for me, please, while we're doing the podcast. He was a personal close friend of the Lays, and he loaned them $50,000, upwards of $50,000 for the first year to cover up costs for the convention to the George R. Brown Convention Center, and was supposed to receive payments of $10,000, and was supposed to be paid off by 2008, I believe, or 2007. I'm not sure. I met him, Mr. Michael. He's a really cool guy. He wants to start his own convention, but he sent out a personal letter to John saying as to why he was not going to help them or why he was going to do anything. He not only lent him a large amount of money, he kept loaning them money, and they kept screwing him over. And his letter to John got leaked online, and now John feels betrayed because he stabbed his friend in the back. The only thing that I know that happened with Miyabi is they just didn't pay Miyabi. I believe Miyabi's a male, so I don't think John would be interested at all. It's hard. I don't know anything about Miyabi, so don't hold me against that. Haha, only got Miyabi before Matsuri. Well, the point is, there's a lot of people out there that are going to defend Anime Matsuri. They love Anime Matsuri. They're going to turn a blind eye to Anime Matsuri. They're fucking their problems. Oh well, it's a fun anime convention. Well, if we boycott the con and we go after John, then we're not gonna have Anime Matsuri in Houston anymore. Boo hoo, we need anime cons in Houston. Shut the fuck up. Seriously? That's why you want to support fucking Anime Matsuri? Because you want a fun anime convention? There is somebody who came forward that he hit on her while she was in high school. Now, there is evidence showing that he was very inappropriate with a lot of Lolita people. He's very inappropriate. He tells inappropriate jokes. When you're in a business and you're talking to business partners, you don't share those kind of jokes unless you have that kind of personal relationship. And even then, that's still wrong. You're married, man. You have kids. You have fucking kids. You have, what, 2 daughters? I was there in 2008. I don't know if it was IHOP or Denny's. I think it was IHOP. We had just left Planet Zero. This was after Hurricane Ike. This is when most of the city was on quarantine. Not quarantine, I'm sorry. We were on a curfew, but I think they had just lifted curfew. We were there eating with a bunch of the staff members from Planet Zero and Anime Matsuri, and Denise had told us she was pregnant. Did you know at one point they actually offered me a staff position back in 2009? But they retracted their offer, and they actually got mad at me because I decided to help out and go to Kamikaze Con, which was the same weekend. Because I didn't have a car, I didn't have a job, and Kamikaze Con was like, hey, look, since you're helping us out, you're practically a volunteer. You're doing so much. We're going to give you, you're going to share a hotel room with the other volunteers for free. We're going to feed you, and we're going to give you a badge. All right, cool. Hell yeah, that sounds awesome. Anime Matsuri offered me a staff position to be the person in charge of making sure all the panels ran on time. This was Anime Matsuri 2009, so this would have been my second Anime Matsuri. At the time, I didn't have any issues with Anime Matsuri. This is when I started having issues with them because of the way they work. If you don't agree with them, if you don't go with what they want, they badmouth you, they belittle you, they make you feel fucking stupid. They do all kinds of horrible fucking shit. Now, at the beginning of the podcast, I said I wasn't going to call John any names. But I will say that is a real dumb fucking decision, man. To say all this bullshit to people. Like, you should have known better. You're a grown-ass fucking man. You're older than me. I'm 32 years old. Well, I'm going to be next month. I'm going to be 32 next month. And why should someone my age be telling you you should know better? That is bullshit. He is a part owner and CEO of Matsuri. Yeah, he puts Denise's name on the cover. Oh, she's the CEO of the convention. Yeah, but he has just as much power as she does. And why in God's fucking name is she allowing him to do this? She literally defended him and said, well, you should have said something to him. You're wrong. John has a son, and maybe it was just a niece. But I remember the kid ran around the arcade completely screaming his head off, running into players on the games. That's actually bad business. Denise did announce in one of her live streams that her parents and her children, at the time I think he had 2 children. I think now he has 3. I'm not going to attack his children. I'm going to attack their business decisions. And I'm going to attack John's personal decisions. Because these are personal decisions he has made. He has decided. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. There is no fucking way he did not know. He knew better. He knew what he was after. He had a mindset. He had a goal, and he didn't get it, and it screwed him over. There is a text message where he's going to Japan with one of his business partners or guests or whatever, and he's like, "Oh well, I guess we're gonna have to share a bed together there," and he's like, he's practically insinuating that stuff is gonna happen. The gentlemanly thing for you to do, John, is to let this person take the bed and you ride the couch. Or, better yet, since you're so successful and you have so much money because of all your attendees, why don't you get a second room? Or maybe demand one with 2 beds. Why did it have to have one bed specifically when you're sharing a room with a female guest or female business partner? Okay, I didn't know anything. I don't know anything about their personal lives, honestly. I stopped giving a shit. And I'm going to apologize to everybody. See, I've always been against Anime Matsuri. But in 2017, we decided to submit our panels to the convention. Not because we wanted to support the convention, but we wanted to, during our panels, we wanted to expose people to more. So during our panels, we were promoting like OniCon and Delta and Comic Palooza, and it made me feel really bad because our panels were actually successful and it made the con look better. And it kills me because that's not what we were trying to do. We didn't even expect our panels to get approved, and they not only got approved, they got big rooms. Our Super Cosplay Dating Game show overfilled the room, and that's saying a lot. And unfortunately, that con doesn't have shit. They had 77 panels the whole weekend. 77 panels ain't crap for a con that size. Because let's be honest, the con isn't that fucking big. Like they were practicing the 6 feet social distancing shit before it was a thing. Because that's how much feet was apart from everybody when they were walking around. Oh no, it's packed. It's hard to walk around. Horse shit. I've been inside that damn dealer's room. It is no way that filled. I will never host another panel again. After the crap that they pulled with us in 2018. And some of my friends literally, and they're saying it right now in the comments, they said to me, your panels were the only ones we went to. Adrian and Fred are saying it right now. I had a lot of friends that say we only went for your panels and now we're definitely going to go to more. Like if you're at a con, we're going to go. We tried to make ourselves more aware to people so we can hey, come follow us to OniCon. Because at OniCon, we belittle the shit out of Anime Matsuri. Had I known we were just helping Matsuri, I never would have done it. We actually tricked Anime Matsuri because they weren't giving badges away for free. You had to buy your badge. The only way if you got a free badge is if you had to be on their good praises list, and you had to be a prior panelist, and you had to be on their approval list. We actually conned them into giving us free badges because there was no fucking way. And I told them straight up, listen, man, I'm not buying a badge. Let's just put it out there. I'll buy a badge for Allcon, and I'll buy a badge for Delta, but I ain't buying a badge for Matsuri. Either give me 5 free badges, or you take down my 8 panels. They gave us 5 free badges. Matsuri knows that they don't have a lot of options. And people are still throwing money at them. People are still supporting them. You're supporting a man who's not even apologizing who didn't really apologize for sending these awful text messages. He's apologized for getting caught. We're not saints. I'm not a saint. I've done some horrible shit too. I've done some really horrible things, and I've apologized for them. Have I made public apologies? No, because I acknowledged that I made a mistake. And I was sorry. We all make mistakes. But you knew what you were doing. It's one thing if you make a mistake once and never do it again. but you repeatedly made these mistakes. And then you took a $40 3-hour online course for sexual harassment. So you're telling me, because you took this damn class, supposedly you took it, there's no actual video proof of you sitting in front of a computer. I mean, there might be. I don't know you that well. There might be videos of you looking at Lolita Pornhub shit. They probably like, yeah, we have video evidence of John in front of the computer taking the course, and it's just like him sitting there watching hentai. Oh yeah, very educational course. He's watching this stupid. He takes this 3-hour course, pays $40, clicks on a link, gets a certificate acknowledging that he takes the course, suddenly has found Jesus, and we're supposed to forgive him? I feel like I'm preaching. There are a lot of people that are going to, and I've said this already, like probably 3 times. There are people that are going to support the con. They will come and defend the con. This is all bullshit. It's all made up. The stories are inconsistent. That's the reason why the stories might seem inconsistent to you. It's because there are multiple stories from different people that are victims. You know how hard it is for people to come forward to the police? People are going through anxiety, emotional distress. Like, it's so much going in your head. You know, it's already in, like, for a lot of guys, and you notice that a lot of the people defending John are men. Let's just put it out there. A lot of dudes, fucking fedora wearing, social justice warrior, mouth breathing motherfuckers are defending John. As a man, do you know how hard it is to come forward? You know, people already don't give a shit when something bad happens to us. People don't give a shit when something like this happens to us. Man up, suck it up, and move on. That is what we're told. When someone comes forward and they have evidence, because somebody can come forward and make bullshit up about a group or an individual that's gained popularity. Look at Angry Joe. Look at what happened with Angry Joe. The person has deleted all of their statements, all of their stuff from social media. Their story, it was one person, and there were witnesses, and they say that none of that happened. When one person comes up just to start shit, that's one thing. But when multiple people, when a group of people are coming forward with actual evidence, with screenshots, with text messages, and then he goes online and acknowledges this and admits that he was wrong, and you still want to turn a fucking blind eye to it, I call bullshit. I call bullshit. I cannot respect anyone that will throw money at Anime Matsuri for the sake of having fun, because we're stuck in a pandemic, because there's nothing to do, because I'm stuck at home, because I'm bored, because I'm sick of this shit. You know what? Get off your fucking high horse. Anime Matsuri is not the only anime convention out there. They tried to screw over another damn anime convention. We covered that in the beginning for those of you that just joined. They tried to screw over Delta H-Con with some bullshit. They had Planet Zero and they screwed that up. 80, I don't know how much it was exactly, but it was over 80,000 in back payments. And this is a rumor. And if anybody from Anime Matsuri would like to make a statement, feel free, and I will actually talk about your statement But there's a rumor, Anime Matsuri, that y'all had people break into the Planet Zero and steal the Lolita outfits. I mean, yeah, it's a fucking rumor. Is it true? I don't fucking know. I honestly. But are they going to get offended? You saw all the statements in the beginning where people were like, well, they screwed over a lot of guests because they don't pay a lot of guests. They paid Vic, apparently. Or Vic made his money back. Vic is a bad person. We're not going to get into Vic. We might do a special on Vic. But I don't like being sued. So we'll see what we do with that. And I have to tread carefully here. Because they did go after Scarfy Scarves for making a video for reporting news articles. Every time you curse, take a long, deep bite out of a banana. But before you do that, hold it and gag a little, please. Oh, no. Oh, by the way, to my friend that just commented, El Toro. I was making fun of your friend, the one that you shared a hotel room with that didn't pay you. The mouth breather, you know who he is. That guy. Yeah, fuck him too. I'll never patronize AM again. I have friends who work for that convention, but I've lost contact. And let's go over something with Anime Matsuri. Anime Matsuri does not pay a lot of its staff, doesn't pay any of its volunteers. They do not pay anybody. When I signed up to be Anime Matsuri, yeah, that's who I'm talking about. I didn't bring any water for me to drink, so. Which I still do. I still bring it up. Why don't you, honestly, dude, you should just kick his ass. But we're getting off topic. Anime Matsuri. Whoa, this is news to me. Where they, hold on. I didn't get to see that comment. There's a lot of. Whoa, this is news to me. Where they brand, because rumor has it that Lays were selling brands like Angelic Pretty and Baby to Star Shine Bright at Planet Zero. I don't know. Possibly, like I said, this is a rumor. This was some. I used to work with a couple of conventions. Okay, no. Inu Smasha. Let me clarify something real quick, because we're getting a lot of comments and I'm trying to address all the comments. So it is a rumor that I'd heard that they had staff members break into Planet Zero after it had been locked down, after they were locked out of the location to steal some Lolita outfits. Now, the rumor is that John and Denise didn't do it themselves. They had staff members do it or be in charge of recovering the Lolita outfits in any way possible to make it sound more legal. Like, yeah. So if you can or won't do the banana, then please do this. Every time you curse, lick your lips a little and then say yes, please. I'll do it the next podcast, I promise. I will do it specifically every 10 fucking minutes for you in the next podcast, I promise. I just want to be a little serious with this one. I'm trying not to joke around a little bit. Even though I did make a joke about mouth breather. They've never paid me. They have never fucking paid me whatsoever. They don't pay 90% of their staff. Fine, god damn it. Yeah. What was I supposed to do? Yes. There. Planet Zero was on Westheimer going towards Highway 6. There is a... damn it. There was two locations. They had an original location, and then they moved. I know my friend used to live in the apartment complex right behind the old location. There's a Leslie's Pool Supply there now. They do not pay 90% of their It's not on Bel Air, but yes, it is near Chinatown, I suppose. They don't pay 90% of their staff. They don't pay any of their volunteers. They barely take care of their volunteers. I volunteered for them 1 year, and it was a nightmare. It was a mess. Everything started late. John was literally standing there talking to a guest with his hand up his ass. Not literally with his hand up. I don't know. I didn't really look. They don't give a shit. They care more about money. John's is the equivalent of a Mr. Krabs without the success. Planet Zero was interesting, but it wasn't like they had way too much going on to be successful, because for it to be successful, they would have to have been packed every night. They were packed every Friday and Saturday, but that's not enough. Like, they were open every day, and they were fully operational. Like most bars and clubs and places are only open on days that they can make money. They don't really open all week. There are a lot of bars and clubs that are not open all week. But Anime Matsuri they tried to screw over Delta at the festival for a festival. They had one of the Anime Matsuri representatives come up on stage and say, hey, if you show them at Delta HCon your voucher, you'll get a free badge for Saturday. And 200 people showed up. This was something that was not agreed on. They never came to an agreement. Some people believe that because Delta HCon backed out of paying for going 50-50 on paying for a Japanese guest to come to Houston, Anime Matsuri is like, all right, we're going to fuck them over. Anime Matsuri, they declined to comment on this story. Right. I know exactly where it is. I don't know the name of I don't know any of the streets. I know it's on Westheimer. I know that for sure. I know there's a half price books there that I really like. But they failed. Let's just put it out there. They failed with Planet Zero. Planet Zero failed. There were a lot of people that liked it. There are a lot of people that support Planet Zero. They're like, well, all the allegations are fake. They're bullshit. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. You know, these are the same fucking people that believe that COVID-19 is fake. Why? Oh, why? And then people are still going to support Anime Matsuri by saying some dumb ass shit. Oh, well, it's in the past. Let bygones be gone. He said he was sorry. He took a class. He says he'll do better. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Damn it. I'm going to call you Cosplay. You Cosplay. 1A Cosplay. Been anime. And it's becoming a decaying corpse. Anime Matsuri claims that they had 60,000 people 1 year. Yes, the Leslie's Pool Supply by Westheimer and Kirkwood is the last location for Planet Zero before it officially shut down. Planet Zero shut down for owing more than $80,000 in back payments. Anime Matsuri came forward and said that it was a lot of contract negotiations, a lot of misunderstandings, management's changing. They made up a lot of fucking excuses. They did not even, but we all know the truth. They owed $81,000 in back payments, meaning that they didn't pay the fucking rent. It was like 4 months of non-rent payment. They went 4 months of not paying shit. That was 8 years ago. That was in 2012. It doesn't matter how long ago it is. They're still stupid. There are rumors, and I'm not going to say who, but there are rumors that they have screwed over a lot of people when it comes to money. They've screwed over a lot of people that comes to money, and they haven't paid them back. There are a lot of people, a lot of guests who they have yet to pay. Isn't it a little weird? Like, didn't anyone think it's a little weird that whenever they invite a guest, they don't really bring them back? Like, Vic is like one of the few. They've only brought a handful of guests back, and Vic is like one of the few that they have brought back. So that they pay Vic? Like, hey, man, I know what it's like to be accused of sexual harassment. We got to stick together. Here's some money. People support the fuck out of Vic. Vic didn't even show up to his own fucking court hearing. Oh, he's innocent. He's innocent. It's just Funimation's trying to screw. Yeah, well, if he was innocent, then why didn't he fight it and show up to court? The judge ruled in Funimation's favor. He didn't even show up to court. That's like admitting you're fucking guilty. I'm not even going to bother. Like, fuck it. I don't. And you know what? I didn't like any of his fucking roles anyway. He only, to me, the only two characters he did that I know of are Broly and Edward Elric. A photo of the end of lease notice is still archived in Google Maps. That's beautiful. I don't know what it's going to take for people to stop going Anime Matsuri. You need to start letting your friends know that going to Anime Matsuri is supporting. Like, is he really sorry? Really? You're really going to believe he's sorry because he took a 3-hour online course? An online course that he probably just clicked next. Yes, next, accept, yes, next. Anyone can do that shit. He needed to. And people are like, well, he needs to step down as the person running the convention. Stepping down isn't going to do shit because he owns the con and the money still goes to his pocket. People just need to stop supporting the fucking con. I would love to have a convention. I would love to host a convention and prove that we can have better conventions than Anime Matsuri. Is that my dream? Yeah, it's possibly something I would like to do in the future. Is it going to be something we do in the future? Who knows? I mean, 2 years ago, like, we stopped doing the podcast and we stopped being active for almost a year and a half, for almost 2 years, because I decided that I wanted to be a parent. I wanted to start focus on my family, but things happen in life and now I'm back because, COVID forced us to start doing something, and we wanted to, and now we want to help the community. And this is definitely that thing. Like, Anime Matsuri, for those of you that don't know, has not canceled this year. They postponed till August. And for those of you that don't know, if you bought a fucking badge and you want a refund, you have until July 9th to get a refund. You have until July 9th to get a refund for your badge. Otherwise, it's going to carry over to next year. You can go back and you can watch one of the old podcasts. You can watch one of the old podcasts where I addressed as look, I promise you, this is an extension. They extended it until July 9th. You do realize that this fucking convention is until the third weekend of August, right? So you're telling me that I have to cancel a full month in advance? And you shouldn't even go anyway because the fucking pandemic is a real fucking thing. And you know what? This fucking community is full of toxic people as it is. Actually, a Geeks 5 EverCon would be kind of nice, but you have until July fucking 9th. That's in 5 fucking days to get a refund. Otherwise, you're screwed. You're stuck. I told everyone they were going to find any way possible to weasel their way into keeping your fucking money. And I'm not even sure this is their thing. This is Eventbrite's thing. We shared it on our page. What does Anime Matsuri think of the pandemic? Oh, well, we're here to, we want to give people something to escape from no, you want their fucking money. And you don't care if they get sick. You're only doing the mask shit, the hand sanitizer stations, because the fucking local government requires you to. I promise you, if the government didn't require them to like have all this like caution, like all these fuck, I can't even talk right now. To follow all these steps to be cautious to help lower the spread of COVID-19, they wouldn't fucking do it. Anime Matsuri, I'm telling you, they're like Mr. fucking Krabs, but without the success. They're like, Anime Matsuri, come spend your money here. I should Photoshop. You know, they made a photo of Joel Osteen saying, oh, did you get that paycheck yet? Did you get that stimulus check yet? I should make one with John asking the same question. Hey, did you get that stimulus check yet? I honestly could not answer that. I know I have seen them on Eventbrite, whatever the fuck they're Everbright, whatever they're fucking called, the place where you get tickets. They nobody fucking Osteen doesn't even like himself. We're not talking about Osteen. This ain't about Osteen. The guy on this fucking meme even looks like John. This is John right now watching my podcast. This is John, like, and the dude in the background is his lawyer, like, damn, he's got some good points. I haven't said anything personally about John. Have I said he's made some dumbass decisions? Yeah. But that's not harassment. That's not a personal attack. That's perspective. It's what I think. Now, is it slander? No, because I haven't said anything that hasn't been reported. I have links for news articles, YouTube videos. There are other YouTube videos. There's even a lawyer YouTube video, which I posted a link to the video where you can see where the lawyer talks about like they have no grounds for a legal battle here. John will burn, and like, let me put it to you like this, Anime Matsuri. They also filed a trademark infringement because they used their logos. Because Scarfy Scarves used their logos on her video. That's not copyright infringement. I'm not over here claiming to be Anime Matsuri. I'm not over here trying to make money off of your stupid fucking logo. I'm not. I don't need to. I'm not making money as it is. They can try to fucking sue me. What are they going to sue me at? All you're going to get is this fucking hard drive that's 130 gigs. What a piece of shit. Yeah, they actually, yeah, a lot of cons use that website, not just Matsuri. But they have no grounds to sue because I have evidence. I'm reporting what's out there. I'm reporting on what's out there. And if they really wanted to silence me, why don't they silence Houston Press? Why don't they silence the Houston Chronicle? Why don't they silence these other news sources? You know why they don't fucking silence them? Because they don't have the money to silence them. They know Houston Press and Crom.com would run them into the ground. They know they have no power with them. They have no fucking power with. I will never take down this video. As a matter of fact, I should have fucking recorded this thing too. Right, it is freedom of speech, but you know you can only go so far with freedom of speech because you can be sued for slander. But I have evidence. I'm not saying something about him that there isn't evidence for, that there isn't proof. I mean, it's all over social media. It's not like it's a deep, dark secret that I'm sharing. I didn't sign no contract of disclosure. I would never take a fucking dime from them. I don't care how much money they claim to have, because I promise you they don't have that much. And I can see it right now. Like, I see this stupid meme and I see that's how John is staring at me right now. Like, fuck Anime Matsuri. Fuck it. Fuck that convention. And fuck a lot of the people that still blindly support that convention. Well, Goku, you're going to lose a lot of followers and a lot of people are going to hate on you and they're going to be like, oh, this guy's toxic, he's evil. Look, the people that support this convention, for somebody that doesn't know how to act appropriately with women that are also business partners, is the toxic individual. People that support his actions, and you know it's fucking true, because a lot of fucking people brush this under the rug for this because they were worried about losing an anime convention. It's sickening. It's sickening to think that there are people out there that would rather have Anime Matsuri because it's a fun fucking con than have justice for these people that are victims of this. And like I said, well, you know, they're probably going to dig and they're like, oh, well, Goku owes so-and-so like money and he accidentally like did this or he did that. Like, listen, I'm not a saint. I've done some bad shit, but I've apologized for it. I've tried to fix it. Like, yeah, I owe like a friend some money. Like, yeah, unfortunately something happened and we both got screwed over, and I, you know, that's just how life is. And I talked to him. I apologized and everything. I didn't hide it. I'm not denying it. And I tried to fix it. Sometimes life just throws you a curveball and you're just not prepared for it. But at the same time, doing it over and over and over when you know you're in the wrong. And then when you are in the wrong and you get caught and then you make an excuse like, well, that's how I am with my friends. And if you can't accept that, then you shouldn't be my friend. Well, guess what, motherfucker? We're not your friends. These people were not your friends. They were your fucking business partners. They were there to do business for you for the sake of an anime convention. Not everyone is your best fucking friend. Not everyone has to give you money for a convention that is sinking. Every year you have less and less guests because people are starting to open up their eyes. Slapping Scarfy Scarfs with a lawsuit because you said, oh, well, I was afraid that... Because Scarfy Scarfs called out another person and they were sending that person death threats or something like that. So they's like, oh, we sent him a cease and desist because we wanted this to stop. Not for our sake, but for our friend's sake. I'm like, yeah, the fuck right. Somebody was running your name through the mud and you were like, no, we can't have this happen because people are going to back out. You know what? A lot of people did back out. And what you did to me and my group, I'll never fucking forgive you either, Anime Matsuri. The whole bullshit with the Nazi. First off, why don't you have anybody at the panel rooms checking to make sure people are who they claim they are? Like, oh, I'm this person, I'm hosting this panel. Let me see your email and let me see your ID. Okay. Go ahead. This is your panel. Go ahead. No, we canceled to go to Anime Matsuri in 2018 because we didn't want to be a part of the convention. We canceled in February. April rolls around. A fucking Nazi. Not only are our panels still up, they still have our panels on the schedule. A Nazi took over our fanfiction panel and decides to start reading Anne Frank Goku fanfiction while dressed as a fucking Nazi during a Jewish holiday. Now, I think it was called Passover. I'm not sure. I'm not really familiar with the religion. I apologize if I insulted anyone. I'm just really not familiar with the religion at all. This Nazi takes over, and this person, okay, well, and they're not dressed like as an anime character. They're not dressed as somebody from Wolfenstein, okay? Let's just put that out there. They're not. They're there as a fucking Nazi. They walked around the convention Friday. All of Friday. Did the con say anything? Fuck no. Did any of the volunteers stop? Like, nobody stopped him until Saturday. Saturday, the con finally kicked him out after everyone backlashed at the con. You know what? People backlashed against us as well for something we had nothing to do with. And I'm starting to get reports that it wasn't even our panel. Apparently, and I looked at the list, there was more than one fan fiction panel. There was terrible fan fiction, and there was a fan fiction panel. And he showed up to the fan fiction panel. But since he was at the regular fan fiction panel and nobody showed up to our... People apparently showed up to our terrible fan fiction panel, and a friend of Geeks 5 Ever, not Geeks 5 Ever, but a friend of Geeks 5 Ever made sure like nobody hijacked the panel. He said the Nazi never showed up to our panel, but you know who Matsuri pinned the blame on? Us. It's all over. You can look up Anime Matsuri, Nazi. Some news articles have removed all mention of us, but some news articles have like fixed it to where Geeks 5 Ever was originally was blamed at first, but they're they had canceled. They even have screenshots of our tweets saying fuck that guy, fuck that stupid ass Nazi ass person, stupid motherfucker. And the worst thing is, I wasn't even there, okay? I was at Numbers Friday night, and then I run into the owner of Insomnia. For those of you that don't know what Insomnia is, it used to be a place that they sell fan art, they sell some collectibles, and they used to have video game tournaments, but now they just sell art and other little shit. They don't do video games anymore. So the owner of Insomnia is there, and he recognizes me. Hey, aren't you the guy that runs Geeks Forever? I'm like, yeah, I was pretty lit. I was pretty drunk. And I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? He's like, hey, I thought you were, I thought you heard about what happened at Matsuri with your group. I'm like, no, what happened? So he shows me what happened with the whole Nazi thing. I didn't even think about it. Like, the next day I wake up with 100 messages, like more than 200 notifications, people calling me. I had 30 missed calls on my actual phone number. And then, not to mention the missed calls on Facebook Messenger. It was so bad. I live streamed myself going to work, driving in a fucking car with no AC, in the middle of the heat. Like, it wasn't hot, but it wasn't cool either. I'm like, hey, I'm driving to work. After I get off work, because at the time I worked for an Easy Pawn. And I was on my way to work, and it was like, I had to be there by 10 or 11. I had to be there by 9 to help set up, and we opened up at 10 in the morning. When I got off work, I went to go visit my grandfather in the hospital, who had been there for 10 months. I went to go visit my grandfather, and it was very emotional for me. Not only was it emotional, it was... Once I saw my grandfather, I started talking to people. Like, the whole time I'm at work, before I went to go see my grandfather, I'm on my phone. I'm not doing my job. I'm running the risk of getting in trouble. I'm talking to people. I'm trying to get people to help me out. I'm letting people know, like, hey, I didn't even show up. Like, I'm not there. It really pissed me the fuck off that I had to deal with all this. And you know what? My grandfather passed away a couple months later. And I wanted to spend every little moment I could with him. That day was the first day I saw him. And while I saw him, it, like, the possibility of Geeks 5 Ever being killed off and seeing my grandfather suffer, it was just my mentality just collapsed, and it was emotional, and it hurt a lot. And I will never fucking forgive Anime Matsuri for that. So if they see anything that I say, they need to see that part too. Because they didn't apologize. They didn't say, we're sorry. Oh, we made a mistake. They didn't send us shit. They didn't do anything. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. As long as and they didn't do anything about the Nazi until Saturday afternoon. They escorted him out after they got so much shit about it. We're going to talk to Geeks Fiverr and find out who's responsible for it. Oh, well, guess what? Geeks Fiverr is not even there, dumbass. There are people that hate this fucking group because of that, because the damage was done. I don't have the fucking money to hire a lawyer and sue the shit out of them. If you go to Anime Matsuri and you still support them, then you don't support us. Because they almost had it. They tried to pin the blame on us, and that could have killed us as a group. We wouldn't be here today talking about this. We wouldn't be doing the podcast. I wouldn't be doing any of this shit. I'd probably be just playing fucking video games and bitching about being stuck at home. You know what? Everyone's sick of being stuck at fucking home. But going to Anime Matsuri, you're going to catch the fucking virus. You expect weeaboos at a convention to practice social distancing, to wear a mask? They don't even want to put on deodorant. A lot of these people don't even want to shower. They support Anime Matsuri. They're willing to go and spend $90 on a badge just to walk around for 10 hours, take 10 fucking pictures, sit on the floor, spend $400 in a dealer's room where you can probably spend half the amount of money on Amazon and get twice as much shit. There's a lot. There's a lot to talk about. But Anime Matsuri as a whole is unorganized. They're unprofessional. They're constantly running late. They're constantly not paying guests. They don't pay their staff. They don't pay their volunteers. I know they don't pay their fucking staff because I applied to be a staff. And I probably could have gotten the position until John saw me. John knows who I am. He knows who I am. He knows I don't fucking like him. I tried to be his friend at one point, and he looked down on me and belittled me because we couldn't, because he felt like we were trying to do something with him called the Ultimate Cosplayer. It was going to be a competition, but I decided to do it with other conventions as well instead of just Anime Matsuri. Matsuri wanted it to be exclusive. They wanted it to be just for them. When he found out that it was at other cons, he belittled me. He told me that I was a bad business person, and they decided not to work with me anymore. The conversation was a lot worse than I made it sound. Thank you, by the way, for listening. I know everybody's got lives. They got to work. They got to do stuff. I'm not gonna run this for the complete 2 hours. This is just me by myself, and we're gonna start coming to a close soon. Just support Boycott Anime Matsuri. They're also going through some shit. Anime Matsuri is going to come after all the little groups. Are we using their logo to gain money? Fuck no. I didn't even put their damn logo on here. If you have any, if you need to, all the news articles that I have are from LioConvoy reviews. We took their links, we shared them on our description. His video's on there as well. He goes into detail. It's a much shorter video. It goes into detail. But Anime Matsuri is one of those conventions that it won't go away until people realize that they need to stop going. As long as they can get 20,000 people to show up, they'll constantly continue to go on. And unfortunately, there's way too many people in the community that would rather support Anime Matsuri than lose another anime convention. You know we have Delta, by the way, people. Support Delta. Now, more than ever, we need to support Delta HCon. And somebody let Delta know. Geeks 5 Ever said this. Everybody that watches this, let Delta HCon know. They need to let Geeks 5 Ever help them. We want to help them. They need to let us help them. We need to support Delta now to prove that we don't need Matsuri. And in the future, maybe we can do an anime convention. I prefer to do just a geek convention in general, but maybe we can do one in the future. Who knows? Who knows? We're going to get rid of this John meme right here because it's kind of stupid. Let Delta know. Please let them know. Let's support Delta together. Because Delta, they need the support, and we need them to show everybody. We don't need Matsuri. We don't need you, Anime Matsuri. If you don't want to close down and shut down your doors, that's, you know what? Fuck it. We can't stop you from ripping people off. But go to another fucking state or something. Go to Florida or some shit. Where they, you know, have a bunch of alligators as your con attendees that are on meth. Maybe they'll eat Vic. Hashtag eat Vic. No, don't make that a hashtag. That sounds really wrong, actually. Anyways, thank you for watching, everybody. This has been an interesting podcast where we just talked about Anime Matsuri. The comments were not as active as normal because everyone was very cautious with what they said. Almost everybody. I'm looking at you, El Toro. Anyways, thank you so much for commenting, sharing your insights. Thank you for everybody that gave a quote that we shared at the beginning of the video. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to Under Subsidence for providing the music for the podcast. As always, we are very grateful to them. Hopefully we can get... we'll see everybody back here on, hopefully, Monday. Hello, Shidori Nagasha. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. We're just about wrapping up, Shidori. But if you can, please follow us on Twitch. Subscribe to us on Twitch. I don't know how Twitch works. I know we're on Twitch, but we have a lot of people on Facebook. We have more of our followers on Facebook, and we have some on YouTube, but we don't have that many on Twitch. So if you could follow us on Twitch, shout out to Shidori. We are going to start. We are actually starting a Patreon next month, so we're working out the details on the Patreon. So we'll keep everybody updated to see how they can support Geeks 5 Ever. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Once again, I say peace.